Wow, you son of a bitch!
Hi, I'm Eddie C, and this is... Deltarune is my favorite game, and my favorite character in that game is Kris. I have two theories to propose. The first one is, of course, about Kris and the 7 human souls. You can watch till the end for the second theory. Without further ado, let's get into it. There are many theories discussing the true identity of Kris. That is, if they have one. Yes, they are they. Please stop misgendering them. So I'm gonna throw my hat into the ring. With the Deltarune universe being an alternate universe parallel to Undertale, it has parallel characters. These parallel characters have major differences to their original characters. Toriel and Alphys are teachers, Asgore isn't a king but runs a flower shop. Undyne is a police officer and hadn't previously met Alphys. Bratty and Catty aren't friends! While writing this, I realised that Sans is the closest to his original character, which only adds fuel to the fire that is the theory that Sans is from Deltarune. I don't know if that evidence has been used yet. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a video on my take about that theory. So, is Kris a parallel human character? Yes. Then who? All of them. Not just Frisk and Chara, I mean all of them. That includes the original human souls killed by Asgore. Don't you find it a bit odd that Kris is the only human in Hometown? According to this parallel universe logic, there should be like 8 parallel humans in Hometown. The souls, Frisk and Chara, but there's only one. Kris. What evidence do I have? Yeah, I have a bit. Let's go in chronological order of which each human fell into the underground. Chara. Let's take a look at all of the similarities between Kris and Chara. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yep, that's enough. They are the same. Kris and Chara are both shown to love chocolatey things, like me. Personally, I love chocolate milk done by Chocolush. It is... I love it! Kris with their chocolate milk in chapter 4, and Chara with chocolate in the Dreamer kitchens. The clothes they wear are the same, and they are both adopted by the Dreamers and view Azrael as their brother. A bit of key evidence I've noticed is that when we find the How to Care for Humans book in Deltarune, we open it to see unrecognizable humans, to which Kris instantly slams the book shut without any further input from us the player. This suggests that Kris is uncomfortable with or hates humans. Little mini theory here, I believe that Kris knows that we, the player, are human, and that the soul controlling them is a human soul. This is because Kris shows uncomfortability with other humans. Could this be because of us? Kris has an immense hatred of us, and is majorly pissed at us for controlling them. So much so that at one point they beat the hell out of us. Could Kris know that we are human? So they develop an amount of spite towards humans because of our doing. Mini theory over. Chara is also definitely shown to hate humans, to the point where they plan a mass genocide of them with Azrael and eventually Frisk. The next human to fall into the underground was Patience, the light blue soul. Wait, did the Undertale humans have names? I, Eddie C, will name them. Let's call Patience Faith Maguna. Faith Maguna is implied to be the first of the human souls killed by Asgore because of the placement of the human's items throughout the underground, and Faith's appears first. First, let's get this out of the way. Kris's Dark World skin color is the same color as the Patient's soul. There is no reason for this yet, but it connects. Each soul in Undertale have a weapon and armor associated with them. Faith's weapon was the toy knife found in the ruins. What does Kris carry around that we, the player, can't use? A knife. Next we have Faith's armor item, a red ribbon. This is a tenuous connection, but the red shoulder pad that Kris has could be representing this, or even the red monster horns that Kris wore as a child. Now here is what I believe to be the strongest connecting thread between Kris and the Patient soul. Kris is patient. Because before the story of Deltarune, Kris's life only really revolved around one thing: waiting for Azrael to get back from college so that they can have a friend again. Toby Fox is from the United States. So for my UK viewers, college in the USA is equivalent to university and takes around 2 to 4 years to complete depending on what course you're doing. Whereas in the UK, college takes around 2 years, which I've just finished by the way. That's pretty patient if you ask me. The Bravery soul. Let's call them Bugs McGraw. Bugs is the orange soul of Bravery, and is depicted to be a rough and tough, fist-first type of character. Kinda exactly like Raphael from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Michelangelo is my favorite. Arguably, I think the Bravery soul has the least connections to Kris, and most of the evidence is kind of stretches, but it's evidence nonetheless. So, the items for Bugs are the Tough Glove and the Bandana. In the ball game, the flavor text for Bugs is that you are the kind of person who rushes fists first through all obstacles. Kris does somewhat demonstrate this personality. Each time that we escape from whatever Kris has trapped us in, they full on jump at us as soon as they see us. Fists first. Okay, next up on the chopping block, Integrity, the Blue Soul, who shall henceforth be named Selena Weir. Selena is shown to be a dancer and is heavily associated with music. This is shown in the Flowey boss fight, where her attack blocks are dancing shoes and her healing blocks are music notes. This is big. Big for Kris. Kris has a lot to do with music and somewhat dancing. In the lead up to chapter 4, there were hints that Kris has the ability to play piano. As in the hospital, where you, the player, who can't play piano unless you can, then that's great. Make an Eddie C song. Choose to play the piano, and it sounds crap. Then finally in chapter 4, where there is a heavy reliance on using pianos throughout the game, Kris takes control and plays the piano beautifully. In chapter 3, we had this awesome minigame where the fun gang played the song Raise Up Your Back, which is amazing. I've had it on repeat for ages. Anyway, Kris is shown to be playing the guitar in this game. Then to add on to the dancing point, in chapter 2, Kris busts a move with the Plug Boys, which I have tried before. One more thing, in the Devil fight, Kris can use a move called Pirouette, which is very linked to ballet, and Selena is shown to be a ballet dancer, as her items are ballet shoes and a tutu. Perseverance, the Nerd Soul. It's purple, and it's called William Afton. William isn't shown to have a strong connection with Kris, but believe me, there is. 1. Kris is actually, believe it or not, the number 3 student in their class. This is taken from Birdley's boss fight in chapter 2. This means that Kris got really high scores in class, even though that they don't pay attention and constantly fall asleep in every class. By the way, maybe the amount of times Kris falls asleep should be looked into. Bro falls asleep an insane amount of times. Maybe because they're sleep deprived from completing missions for Carol/the Knight? Who knows? Kindness! The Green Soul, and we are going to call him Gordon. No less name. Gordon is a cook. Gordon likes to cook, and I believe Gordon is the closest to the pacifist route. We learn at the end of chapter 2 that Kris, to Susie's surprise, can actually make pies. Kris loves to eat pie. It's likely that during their time together alone in the Dreamer house, Toriel actually taught Kris how to cook many things, as cooking and baking is a key aspect of her character. The main way to actually play Deltarune is to be kind to Darkness and eventually be able to spare them. This is majorly in line with Gordon's character, as he is the soul of kindness. In the chapter 4 Gerson fight, the soul actually turns into the kindness soul mode. And the last of the 6 killed by Asgore, the fan favourite, Justice Soul. The soul that is the closest to the genocide route. The Justice Soul is just cool, man. Even a popular fan game was made on his journey through the underground. And I'm gonna call him Matt. Matt the Soul. Please let these names stick or I'll sound like an idiot. Matt is defined as a cool gunslinger cowboy. And he carried a cowboy hat and a gun. In chapter 3, we see Kris literally cosplay as Matt in the cowboy minigame board, where they sport a rocking cowboy hat and shoot Darkness. By the way, Kris doesn't actually use a gun in this minigame, they just use their hands. Is this a JoJo reference? In the Neo Spamton fights, the soul turns on its side and becomes yellow, and it's able to shoot yellow bullets at Spamton. This is almost exactly the same as the Justice Soul mode for Frisk in Undertale, just that it's turned on its side. Just like how Deltarune is an alternate universe of Undertale and it's just turned on its side? I wonder if we'll get to see the rest of the soul modes in future chapters. And for the final fallen human, the one we share the most amount of screen time with in Undertale, Frisk. Right off the bat, the names Kris and Frisk are dangerously close to one another. It's similar to how Rouse is an anagram of Azrael. Then of course, their skin color and hair color are the same, with Chris's hair appearing to be a slightly overgrown version of Frisk's hairstyle.
A shirt with 2 stripes across the middle. Ladies and gentlemen, Gregory is none other than the crying child.
We don't hear either of them talk, and we control them. But there is one piece of evidence that solidifies our connection. They are both absolute charmers. Frisk has the option to flirt with a lot of monsters in the underground, leading to dates, and they can even flirt with their adoptive mother. Wait, that's kind of weird. Kris can also flirt with a lot of Darkness, and can flirt with Susie, Rousey, and even Birdley! So, you believe me now? Kris is the representation of the human race in Deltarune, so all of the humans present in Undertale are merged into this one being. Kris, whose father has 7 flowers with colours representing the souls from Undertale. Second theory time! I came up with this one at a hotel pool in Italy. I must have looked insane to all the tourists going, oh my god, no way, oh my god, every 5 minutes when another thing clicked into place. So if you don't believe me that all the human souls are Kris, well, I have an alternative for you. The 6 fallen humans are represented by a main character in Deltarune. Okay, let's get into it. Since we're on this topic, let's start off with Kris first. The soul most similar to Kris is definitely Patience. I'm not going to rehash all the similarities, but I do have one more piece of evidence that I think is pretty interesting. Back in the ball game for Undertale, the flavor text you get for the Patience soul is, ball is small. You waited still for this opportunity, then dethroned ball with a sharp attack. I believe that this sharp attack could be relating to the Kris slash theory. The Kris slash theory is a theory by Double Dan that suggests that the slash that ends the Roaring Night fight is actually from Kris. This is an incredible video, please go watch it. Link is in the description. Kris waits patiently during the whole fight, waiting for an opportunity, and then dethrones Susie and Rouse with a sharp attack. The next one's a no-brainer. Susie is Bravery. On to the next one! So kindness, Susie is definitely a fists first type of character. In chapter 1, we couldn't even control her and she would instantly attack in fights, to the point where we had to actually try and help the darkness to avoid them getting hurt. She definitely doesn't think things through before she does them and acts on impulse. Definitely a Bugs McGraw character. But I believe that there could be a subversion here again, just like in the prophecy. I believe all the characters that are linked with an Undertale soul will appear in the prophecy. We have Kris as the cage with human soul and parts, but I think the Bravery soul's character could actually be Noelle. Just like how the girl with Hope Cross on her heart prophecy isn't about Susie, but actually Noelle. Throughout Deltarune, Noelle is shown to be scared of most things, but in the coming chapters, I believe Noelle will have an arc of learning to be brave and even standing up to Kris in the Snowgrove route. The green soul, kindness, is connected to Rouse. Rouse is shown to be a competent cook, cooking cakes and throwing tea parties for the fun gang, so that's an instant link. Rouse wears green clothes. What's green? The kindness soul. Then of course, back to the ball game. I'm sorry, it's just we get a lot of our information about the souls from these text boxes. Kindness is flavor text. Flavor is your concern and care for Ball led to a delicious victory. Rouse shows a copious amount of concern and care for characters in Deltarune. Kris, Susie, and even the evil king. Rouse also appears as the prince in Deepest Dark. Integrity, the soul of music and dance. It's Des. Okay, it's Des. The Raise Up Your Bat song is literally about Des. In Noelle's room, there's a CD cover that Noelle made for Des, and in Des's room, she is clearly shown to be emo! I'm not making fun of emos, I practically am one too. And she has a guitar too! Very musically inclined, very nice. Des's part in the prophecy, Des is the knight. Yeah. Justice! I'm leaving Perseverance still last because I think it's the most interesting one. At the end of chapter 4, we can see Toriel and Sans together, and it's likely that their relationship will continue to develop. Chapter 5 is heavily rumoured to be about Asgore, the Flower King. And it could be about him maybe doing something to Sans out of jealousy because he sees it as justice. In Ron Brazy's video, Neo Woody Theory, link in the description, he explains how Asgore's favourite show on television is a cowboy show that the cowboy minigame is based on. This is another link to Justice, as Justice is the cowboy gunslinger we all know and love.
I will hunt you down wherever you're hiding and I will eliminate you. I am Justice!
Now for my favourite part of this theory, as it is the most interesting. Perseverance is... Birdly? Now, how do I think Birdly, of all people, is notable enough to warrant a link to an Undertale soul? Well, let's take a look at the facts, as I think Birdly has the strongest connection out of all of them. First, Perseverance's armour is glasses, and Birdly is one of the only characters in Deltarune to wear glasses. Then we have the weapon, which is the notebook, which clearly links to Birdly as he is a massive nerd! In the Omega Flowey boss fight, the Perseverance section of the fight has Flowey shoot loads of different words at you. Birdly's backstory is all to do with how he won a spelling bee. Words! And looking at the flavor text from Ball Game, even when you felt trapped, you took notes and achieved the end of Ball. Even when you felt trapped. In the Snowgrave route, Birdly is trapped inside of Snowgrave by Noelle and is yet to escape it. But Birdly does not appear in the prophecy. Or does he? The ending prophecy screen that we don't see is smashed by Susie. I suggest that the prophecy is actually about the Snowgrave route, and this screen showed Kris and Noelle, girl with hope crossed on her heart who Susie thinks is herself, betraying a friend and trapping them. And this is why Susie smashes the screen and says that her and Kris wouldn't let that happen. Right? Just like in Undertale, maybe all of these soul characters need to come together and work as a team to stop the roaring. Just like how the souls in Undertale banded together to help Frisk defeat the evil Flowey, Kris, Noelle, Rouse, Des, Asgore, and Birdly. With their powers combined, maybe they can stop the big bad and become... So, what do you think? This is my first theory video, so please be kind in the comments. But I would genuinely love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Also, any suggestions on topics for future videos. Now, it's time for the usual YouTuber thing. What? Only 0.2% of people watching this are actually subscribed? Come on, please like and subscribe. I told my teacher that I'd make it big and that I'd be famous. So please...